I moved to Lobo Gym, and it's been a great move for me. It's been probably the best thing I have done in my career.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
2023 has been a phenomenal year for you. Uh, I was looking at some of the things that you've done. Of course, you've won 3 straight fights, but you hold 2 UFC records that are very, very impressive. The first one is the fastest turnaround, 7 days, and the other one is the shortest term someone has fought 3 fights, 42 days. When you think about that, like going through that, what do you have to say? It's incredible.
I try to live and do everything I do like just like one step at a time. If I sit down and I look at the whole picture and think like, oh my gosh, I have to do all of this, or not that I have to, is if I want to, right? But I just like live the day, by the day pretty much. So that really helps me to just focus on the next task ahead of me, and then once that over, then step to the next step. Go forward in the next step or the next thing that I have to do. So yeah, I just pretty much take my time, and that's how I've been doing it, and that way not that way I don't feel overwhelmed. And especially, I mean, I love fighting. That's what I do every day, right? So it's, for me, is normal, if that makes sense. It's just what I do.
Yeah, yeah, understand. And you've taken advantage of opportunities. Some fighters will pass on certain opportunities, but you've just taken every single opportunity and uh, and done really well for yourself. 10th fight coming up in the UFC. You're fighting the number 10th ranked fighter in the division. How do you feel about being in this position in 10 fights, like being ranked and everything?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I think I have earned my spot. I feel like I have worked really hard. I have some up and downs in the UFC, of course, but the losses that I have, like, it was short notified, or it was a conservation loss, like people thought I won. So I'm right in there with all of the top dogs.
You are. NYC. This is the first time you're gonna fight in New York City. You've fought most of your career. I was looking at it in Las Vegas. Like I think like 6 or 7 of your fights were in Las Vegas. Do you like fighting in Las Vegas? Is it comfortable?
Yeah, I love Vegas. Fighting there is my home. I mean, as you say, I have so many fights there, and then the PI is there, so obviously it's like easier to do anything. But I'm also really excited to. I never been to New York, so I'm excited to see the city, and to fight there and to be in the amazing card.
For sure. Is it a big deal for you fighting in Madison Square Garden? Because a lot of fighters they dream about that. Was that something you dreamed about?
Yeah, of course, I'm happy that I'm fighting there, but honestly, I will fight anywhere. I don't care where I fight. I'm just fighting. If you think about it, I'm doing the same thing. I have my fight week, then I have my opponent, then we both get in the ring, and then we fight, right? In Vegas, doesn't matter, in any city, any country, we're doing the same thing, right? But of course, it makes excited, and it makes me happy that the UFC gives me this task in New York.
All right, so Tabatha Ricci, number 10, she's on a 4-fight win streak. They got your win streak against her win streak. What are your thoughts on her and her fighting style?
Yeah, I think it's a great matchup. I think it will be a great fight. We've been working really hard, and I really see myself coming on top.
Do you see any similarities in the styles that you guys have?
Yeah, I'll see the grappling, I guess. She go, she's pretty well rounded.
Has any of those fights that she's had, the 4 fights, have they been really impressive to you? Have you watched back those fights and seen anything that you really liked about the style?
Uh, she moves a lot. But I have like nothing have really stand like, oh wow, you know what I mean? Like she's decent, she's well rounded, she, you know, she's good, but it's nothing that I'm like, oh wow, I really gotta watch out for that. You know what I mean?
You're on a 3 fight win streak. What has changed? Like, has something different happened to you? Do you feel differently in the ring or the cage?
Yeah, something that I changed is my camp. You know, I moved to Lobo Gym, and it's been a great move for me. It's been probably the best thing I have done in my career. The way we train, the way we plan things, or the way we game plan is, you know, is so much different. And all of the stuff that we do here, it really, really over prepares you for the fights. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the camp, you're just like, I'm ready. You know, like I've been ready 2 3 weeks ago when I was feeling like itching to get back in there. You know, like I'm ready. I'm ready to fight. But of course, I gotta wait until the fight. But yeah, like I think we have done a great job, and the coaches there make an amazing job with their fighters or whoever is next. You know.
Oh, for sure, for sure. We've seen it, and looking back at some of those fights, your UFC fights, has any of them like impacted you in a negative or positive way?
I think like all the fights that I had in the UFC have give me so much experience and so much good stuff. You know, there is no such a thing as a bad experience. You know, because if you think about it, it doesn't matter if I have win that fight or if I have lost that fight. I have learned a lot from those fights. You know, and like things that I had to fix, things that I have to change. How do I feel in the ring? You know, so I do try to make and changes every time I fight. I see I'm okay next time. I want to do this. It's like taking a picture. Sometimes I take a picture. I'm like, okay, next time I won't do that. Doesn't look good, or whatever. So I don't do that for the next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I try to do every single fight because, of course, I want to look better every single fight, every fight.
Yeah, in your last fight, you got the performance bonus. You were very, very dominant, very impressive. Anything you didn't like about that fight?
You know, I have nothing that I didn't like about that fight because my three coaches got what they wanted, right? I got the wrap
Mhm.
in, I got the my hands mixed in there that I drop her, and I also got the finish with the jiu-jitsu and some transitions, you know. So I pretty much give them the three of them their a little bit of their piece, you know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. If you satisfy your coaches, then yeah, that's the straight victory right there. Yeah. You mentioned your training camp and like the sparring partners that you have with you. Like, who are they? Some of them they're not really in the UFC, but they're like coming up, right? They're really talented.
Yeah, I mean, we have so many guys like from 135 to 125 to 155 to 145. That is smaller guys, big, you know, all kinds of size and all kinds of styles for us to work. And you know, a lot of those guys they've been with Alexa and Irene for a long time, so they have learned to adapt to different styles so they can help them out, right? But now that that I'm a new addition in the team, is it's been amazing. You know, for my last fight, the two of the guys like, okay, a lot of kicking because she was taekwondo, right? So like it was a lot of kicking, and they did a great mimicking my opponent, you know, and also for this one they're in the opponent. So I'm really happy to be here.
And what do you envision for the fight? Like, how do you see this fight playing out in your mind? Like, do you throughout the camp do you see things differently, or do you kind of see the same kind of fight playing out?
Yeah, I have so many different finishes that could happen just because like I feel so good everywhere. So it's so hard for me to pick only one, you know, when we're doing like when my part of training partners are like, holy, you're so hard to, you know, it's so hard to take me down. I'm hitting really hard. I'm like moving really well in the ground. I'm taking you down. So like pretty much like anything can happen, for my size.
And you've been working on your hands. You dropped your last opponent. Your boxing looks really, really good. Do you earn for like a knockout? You know what I mean? Like a real knockout with the hands, like kind of like Jessica Andrade knocked out Carolina Kovacic. I think that
Yeah,
that type of knockout.
yeah, of course I see that happening too. Just because like the way sparring goes here,
Hmm.
and I see that that's also a potential, that could happen.
Yeah. So yeah, that when I see stuff like that from like a strawweight, that's very impressive, right? Just a cold knockout. It's very rare to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I've been hearing rumors that the UFC is going back to Mexico in February. Have you heard any rumors?
Yeah, I hear about same as you. I hear about that. I'm not sure, and I'm not sure if I'll be on it. I'm not sure what they want from me. But after this fight, we will see what happens and go from there.
And you're rising up the ranks. You have a number next to your name. Zhang Wei Li's the champion. What are your thoughts on the champ?
Well, she's the champ, right? She's amazing fighter. I really enjoy watching her, and yeah, hopefully she's still the champ by the time I get there and get to have a great fight with her.
Do you think she'll be a champion for a long time? Because there's a few fighters coming up like yourself, that really want that throne.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, is she fighting anytime soon? Have they
No,
say?
she just won. So I think they're waiting.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a lot of fighters. You obviously before me to fight for the belt, and anything can happen. But I'm coming. I'm coming up, and slowly we will be taking things out of the way, so I
Great.
can fight for the belt. Whoever is holding the belt. Of course, that will be great to fight her. If she's still the champ. If not, then we will just fight whoever have it.
And USADA, I heard that the UFC fighters got an email notifying them that USADA is no longer going to be with the UFC and they'll have a new partner. Your experiences with SADA, were they good or bad?
Other than coming so early to see me, I mean, it's fine. I
Sure.
think it's important to have a control in especially in the sport in MMA, because we getting hit on the head, we getting kick on the head, we getting knee on the head. So like, if you're doing something illegal, I don't think it's fair for the other person that is not doing it, because and it's not because, oh, you're cheating. It's not even anymore about the cheating part. It's more about the help part from for your opponent. Yeah, you can really injure someone and end their career, or end also their life, and we've seen it. So I do think it's important to have someone that is watching over us, just for the sake of our health.
Oh, for sure. I completely agree. November 11th, UFC 295, New York City, MSG. Loopy, thank you so much for the time and all the best in this upcoming fight. It's a huge fight for the division. Two ranked fighters, they
Mhm.
get their chance next. The winner goes to the top 10, right?
Exactly. Yes. Thank you very much.